Now, John, when are we going to see Space Worm on the television screen?
I'm currently developing that for Netflix with Cynthia.
Hello and welcome to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. Today we are putting the fun in Funimation and talking with some of our favorite Dragon Ball Z fans. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First, you know her as the voice of Chi-Chi. Please help me welcome at this time, Cynthia Cranz.
Hey.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing good. Whereabouts are you? Are you in the Texas area like everybody else?
I am. I live in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
Yes.
That is awesome. I've yet to be there, but I've heard so many great things, especially from so many of your coworkers and friends, that I feel like I just have to be there.
Funky town. It's cowboy and culture. So it's there's nothing like it.
All right, I'll make sure to bring my hats and my boots.
And your toe shoes.
Okay. I'll make sure.
That's the culture part.
Next up, please help me welcome at this time. You know him as the voice of Dr. Gero, Mercenary Tao. Please help me welcome at this time, Kent Williams.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hey.
It's like Clark Kent over there.
I know. Hey, had to transform.
There's like two of you on screen. There's one back there.
That's right. Him.
Is that like you need another one so you could have like the angel and devil from like the old cartoons?
I plan to paper the entire room. I think
So how are you doing today, man?
Hey, I am good enough.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. You want to bring some of your friends out?
Come again?
So you want to bring some more of your friends out?
Absolutely. You mean who's in the tank right now? We got John Burgmeier.
All right. So next up, fans, you may know her as the voice of Frieza. Please help me welcome Linda Young.
Linda! Hi, everyone. Hi.
How are you this evening?
I'm fine.
I love all the art behind you. That's amazing.
Oh, it's all from fans.
Yeah. Oh, it's all fans. Oh, that's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one of the coolest parts of your guys' gigs is getting that fan art.
I know. It's great. They just
It is
give us
great.
things.
And then we have one more to our party right now. Who knows who's going to show up later? So please help me welcome at this time. It's the voice of Shenron. Please help me welcome John Burgmeier.
Woo.
Hey,
There he is.
Hey, John
Hello.
Burgmeier.
I think I was talking. I think this might be the first time we've had a mother and son on our GalaxyCon live streams.
hey, Mom.
Hey. Did I look the wrong way? Oh, hey, John.
So we just want to make sure that you guys are keeping up with each other. And if the phone calls aren't going through, we have a way to make you guys talk.
Yeah, this
Did you eat
is
your
how we
vegetables,
correspond these days.
Right, this
come
is how
on.
I think this is how everybody corresponds these days. So how are you doing today, John?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good.
Hanging out here in Dallas.
In Dallas, yeah. So everybody's Texas except for me. So this is why we do these things virtually. So I'm so glad to have you all here today. It's a great Friday, and we're gonna talk some Dragon Ball stuff. But I know over the past 18 months has been really crazy. How have you guys been able to flow with the changes? Are you working from home? Do you have a home studio system that you guys are able to, do your shows from home, or are you still having to go to the studio? Cynthia?
I have a studio, but I am so low tech that I would rather drive to the studio and record there.
So you prefer in the studio?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am the worst engineer.
And my husband was supposed to help me set a studio up, but it never happened.
So are you still going to the studios then?
Well, the few things I've done, Yes, one was a studio. One I actually did from home. I figured out somehow to make it sound good enough. I had to put all sorts of blankets and a box and all sorts of stuff to
Oh,
it worked. So
yeah, for like soundproofing.
yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
John, how are you getting by? Are you have a home studio, or
I have I have a makeshift recording space set up in the master bedroom closet. Just enough room for me to stand with a microphone boom mic in front of me, using all of my my closet sweaters and whatnot as soundproofing.
I mean, you have to do what you can. That's fantastic. The innovation that I've seen people do, to get by over these last 18 months is really incredible. Kent, now, do you have your own studio as well, or are you still going into the studio to record lines?
Well, sometimes both. There's a little bit of a balance. So, and I'm like Cynthia, I'm low tech. So it's much better if somebody else is handling all of the dials and making the decisions, because that was one of the trickier things that, even though the pandemic started, we all stayed in home. The recording didn't stop. I mean, they were on it right away. I already had a system in my house, but then, certain studios will provide a system so that they can have consistency throughout their artists.
Now, during this time, I've talked to a lot of people that have, banana bread making was like very popular at the beginning. People wrote novels. How did you guys pass some of the time during, this downtime?
I have a day job as an apartment locating specialist, and I work from home. So my husband also works from home. So there's been a lot of that. I was grateful to have the income for sure. And then, I would love to say that I reorganized and cleaned my house and worked out and lost weight. But I read a lot of books. I watched a lot of movies, talked on the phone a lot.
What are some of, have you binge watched any TV shows like from start to finish?
Have we? No, we're terrible. The only thing we ever did that on was Game of Thrones. And that was before pandemic. So no, he controls the remote. So kind of whatever he wants to watch. Luckily we have similar tastes. So nothing special or exciting.
Kent, did you learn any special skills? How's your banana bread baking?
I'm not a baker at all. I tried one of those little programs at home before, and that would lasted for a couple of months. I don't even have all the equipment. I don't even think I have a full set of pans. I'm an excellent DoorDasher.
Excellent DoorDasher.
And I've never done that before.
What?
I don't know. No, I never have.
Salvation.
Linda, have you how do you spend some of this downtime that you've had?
Well, I've got 3 dogs, so doing things with them.
Wow.
I got on the Cameo site where people order videos and have you say happy birthday or different things. So that's really good. That's fun. And then Cynthia, we did all that print.
Oh, we did.
We did it.
We
print
did.
signing. Yeah, with groups.
We got on the Yu Yu Hakusho fan page and interacting with them and selling prints. And
and that went a little crazy for a while.
Yeah. I don't think I ever caught up.
And then I work out a lot. So the gym was closed and everything. So I started doing, looking for different workouts around the world, which was really interesting. So I tried all these different kinds of workouts. I'm still working out from home, so it's fun.
I did one of those too. Linda. Briefly.
Cynthia laughs at me because I do. When we go out, when we go to a con, I do Tai Bo at night.
Oh, Tai Bo. I haven't heard of that since like the 90s.
I know.
And she does it before bed. She'll do it after dinner and cocktails.
We should having a live demonstration.
How can I do it here?
Wow.
It's like Genkai.
John, who knew?
John knew.
Yeah,
How
John
could
knew.
I? This is the only way we correspond. I'm finding out for the first time the same as the rest of you.
John, what did you do to pass the time? You new
I
novels?
got you, Milo. I actually went through a banana bread phase.
you did.
So there
Did
you
you?
go. Banana bread, pumpkin bread, pizza crust was we experimented with pizza crust.
Wow.
I discovered
Great cake.
the most important thing I learned is that I am not good at any of these things. And Starbucks does pumpkin bread better, and any pizza place you can think of does that better as well.
Well,
But we learned that.
Kudos for trying.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No,
Yeah, I
his-
mean,
his son
I think
thinks
you have to
did
try.
well. Your son thinks you did very well making macaroni and cheese.
He's polite. He doesn't want to hurt my feelings. He'll always like if we try making macaroni and cheese or we try making pizza and any of the things that we try, if we go out and get these things at a restaurant, we'll say, "Hey, how do you like your dinner?" And he'll be, "Oh, it's the best ever." I'm like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Well, maybe not as good as Papa's." So he'll always like he'll throw me a bone for my
Yeah,
feelings.
that's
that,
nice. That's
"Oh,
the type of support you want in your circle.
Oh, really? So you really like my pizza, huh? It was the best ever. So you want me to make it again? No, that's okay. You don't have to.
That's, now, are you guys ready to take some questions from some Dragon Ball fans?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So our first question comes from Alicia. What were some of your favorite cartoons growing up? Oh, great question.
That's a good question. I was a big Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo fan, like all the Looney Tunes, but Scooby-Doo was my special Saturday morning.
I was a Scooby Dude, and the show Speed Racer. I
Oh
was
yeah,
big on
Yes.
Speed Racer as a kid.
Mine
Yeah,
goes
Speed
way
Racer.
back. I mean, there was like Top Cat, and this is like
Top Cat.
long
Oh,
time.
Linda, I remember Top Cat.
Did you like Top Cat?
I
thought
know
you
Top Cat.
were cool. Yeah. And
The,
of course, I like Bugs Bunny and all of them.
One of the first ones I
Absolutely.
really
Bill
remember getting into was Star Blazers, which was the original English dub of Battleship Yamato.
Oh,
And I was super into that. So it was really neat that flash forward 40 years or 30 years or whatever it was, a couple of years back before all the pandemic business, Funimation did the update of Yamato. So I got to be in
that's
like
cool.
a small part, but I got to be in the show that
That's cool.
I loved as a kid. So it was just
That's
like,
really
all right, kind of full
That
circle.
is cool.
What?
Yeah.
Now
Hi,
she's here.
everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the party.
I
Ladies
just got
and
off
gen-
an airplane.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the show at this time, is the voice of Bulma. Please help me welcome Tiffany Volmer. How are you doing?
I'm great. I had to take
Tiffany, can we have you
bus
turn
from
your
the
phone-
airplane to get to the terminal, and it was just like, I'm late. So I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for hanging in there.
Can we have you turn your phone to the side a little bit?
My phone to the side.
Yeah, to the side. Yeah. Can you turn it sideways?
Whoa.
Boom. Perfect.
Wow.
Woo.
How do I
Now
make
Didn't
we
you
can
tell
see
them?
you.
Hey, I have something to be
I have
at
a full
the
production
land this plane
team
now.
here. It's hilarious. Just keep that from slipping down.
Some slipping down.
Yeah, can you tighten it or something? Or just hold it? Be my camera guy?
Production team.
Nice. Fancy.
Second.
So Tiffany, how are you besides, upset with your flight experience?
I'm really good. Life is crazy right now. I'm super busy with media tech. I'm the author of Acting for Media and Master Makeup Artistry at Media Tech. It's an associate degree program, and took me about 1.5 years to get both programs up and running. And I'm just super excited. So I'm teaching what I love to do to people that want to do what I love to do. And so, yeah, good stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now we're gonna ask. We had a fan question on what was your favorite cartoon. What were some of your favorite cartoons growing up?
I was a pretty standard Tom and Jerry kind of gal. And I liked the Flintstones.
Oh, I
and-
love them.
Yeah, they're good.
No.
Did you guys, when you were growing up watching the cartoons, did you guys mimic them and do some of the voices of some of your favorite characters?
Not me.
I did. I totally did. In fact, my thing was I would sit in front of the telly and watch Margaret Thatcher. and I'm like 10, and I'm trying very regally to speak like Margaret Thatcher. So
That's great. Kent, did you do it? Did you do any of the voices?
I didn't, but I did try out some of the stunts that I was seeing on Speed Racer.
Oh, did
I mean, there were so many antics on that show, and it was the only cartoon you could watch where people actually died.
Oh,
Yeah. Hopefully you
I
didn't
was
try
confused
those.
by that, but it just made it that much more exciting.
I guess. I mean, I guess
It
that's
did for a
exciting.
Denver kid.
All right. So our next question. Comes from David. When did you first hear of Dragon Ball Z?
Tightening, and then I'm going to come up.
I first heard of it when I auditioned.
Is that it?
same. Yes.
So you didn't hear about it until you auditioned for it. So
So,
did you know it was for an anime when you were auditioning, or were you just auditioning for everything?
I knew it was for an anime, but I didn't really know what anime was. I knew it was like a cartoon.
Right.
I did know that. But I
same.
didn't know much about it at all.
I knew nothing about it. I did have an agent, and I was used to doing lots of commercial auditions, but this one came from an open call. A friend of mine who placed the ad in our pop culture newspaper in Dallas called me to tell me to go. And on the third time that he called me, I finally said, okay. I didn't think I had any chance. I'm like, what do I know about cartoons? And
Right.
so I knew nothing about it.
But you got it.
And that was 1999. So I don't know how long people already knew about it in the States before I did. But
Kent, John?
First time I heard about it was at that same audition.
Oh.
First time I saw an episode was probably running the audio session. I started out as a engineer for Funimation. So the first time I actually got to see any of it, I was sitting in a recording session running the Pro Tools session.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. Or the reel-to-reel, as it was.
The beta. That's right.
Kent, were you aware?
I was not aware. I was dating a writer from a local rag that was doing an article on a company coming out of Canada doing this show called Dragon Ball Z, and then I went. I got hooked up with an audition, and then the rest is just. I mean, it's the history.
I wonder
just
if the
continues.
writer from the rag was the same rag that the sales guy was. Was it the Observer?
It was the Dallas Observer.
That's how I found out.
That's how I went too. My friend called me and told me there was an open audition.
It was
Am I
the
right
theater
in prison?
critic who I was dating at the time that was writing this article. So it was a little insider kind of thing.
I ran
Now,
into
Linda,
Chris
John,
Sappin at
did
a
you go to
bar.
the same audition?
The same open call, yes.
Yeah, 'cause
So
I
you went
called
together?
John.
I did not.
No, separate times, but
Oh, separate
Yeah.
time. Okay.
I had to try to talk him into going. But my friend Patty talked me into going.
Was
Like-
Patty the talent coordinator at the time?
No,
Okay.
No.
I was
She's an-
asked to
she
come
was
to
an
the
actress.
callbacks. I didn't audition in a cattle call. I went to the callbacks.
So,
Tell
Tiffany,
your
Because
story.
I ran into Chris at a bar, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And then he pulled out a dubbed version of Xanadu on a cassette tape and gave it to me. He goes, "Well, I know what you should be doing. You should be auditioning for this show I'm directing in Fort Worth." And I said, "Okay." And then I said, "Well, how do I audition and what do I need to do?" And the day of, I'm like, "What am I actually really auditioning for?" He's like, "Well, I'd really love to tell you, however, I'm at the studio, so I'm going to need you to break into my house." And I was like, "Okay." So I crawled through a window and went into his office and pulled a VHS tape out of the top left-hand drawer of his desk. I watched it exactly one time. And then I went to the unknown and I auditioned with Sunny Strait and Melody and Sean Schimmel and for Barry Watson's, who we auditioned for.
it's not too often that a breaking and entering portion of the audition goes well.
I'm here to set the new standard.
But because you did break in, you at least got to see the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw little snippets of each character like one time.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Our next question comes from Z, not of the Dragon Ball. But do you have a favorite scene or episode that you recorded?
I have a really sweet story about somebody that's on this panel.
Ooh, let's hear it.
John Burgmeier directed me in The Life of Trunks. And that was my favorite part of being Bulma, was that movie, because we got to see her as a multidimensional character instead of the screaming girl that's nagging all the boys all the time. And it was just a really lovely experience. And you're one of my favorite all-time directors from Funimation, and I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate that. It was a brief stint
I
as
remember it.
the voice director. It was the History of Trunks and the Bardock movie, and then a few episodes of the show. But
Yeah.
That was fun. I remember it fondly as well.
My favorite episode is where Chi-Chi is being trained by an older woman on how to be a proper wife. And so she makes her do all the dishes and sweet and like cook, and she's just and that selfishly probably because it's all about Chi-Chi, but I love that one. I do. She's anyway, that was fun.
Kent, do you have a favorite scene?
I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's memorable. It's when Dr. Gero was the first character that I did ever for anime, for voiceover, and just coming into the studio the day that my head got stepped on and smashed and died. I really believe that was pretty much it. Just pack up my kit, never be back. Then it was just wait for the next character to show up. That was fun.
I remember being
recorded it.
stepped
That
on.
was a shocker. What?
Boo turned me into an egg and stepped on me. I remember that.
Yeah, I got turned into a frog, and then I got turned into chocolate and eaten by Boo.
If you're gonna
Then
go
I
out,
got possessed by Evil Baby. And
John, do you have any favorite scenes?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one to answer. I remember really enjoying. There was a session of a really weird episode where Goku and Piccolo go to get a driver's license.
I love that one.
You were the other driving instructor, weren't you, Cynthia?
No, I just made them do it. I made them get the license because I was tired of carrying groceries home. And
who is the other driving instructor? Well, obviously, yeah. Okay. Anyway, Chris decided to cast me as one of the driving instructors. He's like this 90-year-old dude. It just I'll be your driving instructor today. And I'm just doing this. I don't know. It's a really strange episode and a really strange thing for Chris.
It was
to be
a
like,
strange episode.
you know who'd be really good at this? This is John. This has got to be John. Get the 23-year-old guy to play this 85-year-old man. It was an interesting change of pace.
That's because he used to like to dress like a little old man.
Could be all the old cardigan sweaters that I used to wear.
Yes.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Linda, do you have a favorite episode?
You know what? I don't know if I have a favorite, but I know a lot of people love this one. And it is not my favorite. When Frieza kills Krillin, and it's really gross because she pops Frieza, but then Frieza goes, "Pop goes the weed."
Well, you know what else I'm like, the one that hurt the least to do was my favorite scene.
That makes sense.
Not the ones that I was screaming in. You're the ones that didn't hurt. so
Yeah,
much.
you're right.
Those were the good
Well,
ones.
I was screaming in almost all of them, so
Yeah, I know. Which one hurt the least, Linda?
I don't know. Probably Pop Goes the Weasel.
Our next question comes from Seth. Have you heard the other languages dubs of the show? And how do you feel of the voice actors portrayed your characters?
Well, I know Mr. Nakayo, Japanese Frieza, because we go to a con called Animazement together. We've been there 3 times already together. And so I've seen some of his work, and he is the greatest guy. I have so much fun with him, even though he doesn't understand English and I don't understand Japanese. They have interpreters there. And last time I was there, he invited me to dinner with all the Japanese actors, and it was so much fun. I had an interpreter on each side of me. And before long, I just felt like I was just talking normally in a normal conversation. And
That's
they
so
taught me
cool.
to use chopsticks, right?
That is so
Wow.
cool.
It was so much
That's
fun.
great.
That's really
He is
cool.
a great sport. He is humble and he's sweet, and he always brings me gifts.
Oh,
Yeah, he's just sweet.
That's so great.
I've only ever seen the Japanese version of Chi-Chi in the pre-roll before I record. And I think she's great, you know. It's interesting because for many, many years, we didn't get to see the Japanese pre-roll. They just, you know, they might refer to it and listen to it for a pronunciation of a word or something. But I would love to meet her. I'd love to meet all of them.
Sadly, that won't be the case for
Oh,
Bulma.
Oh,
yeah.
R.I.P.
Yep.
John Kent?
Nothing other than what Cynthia had mentioned. But didn't the tape, wasn't there something about like some of the materials we were getting from Mexico? So they were first in Spanish. So they went from Japanese to Spanish, then to English.
I don't know.
I've seen them. I've seen some of the Spanish. I know some of the Spanish voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
The Spanish dub, I think, was well ahead of us, and I know in the pre-digital days, I think it took a really long time to get the master tapes that we needed to get to do the recording from Japan, and I think there was a period of time that you might be thinking of, Kent, where it was actually faster to get the tapes that the Spanish crew used.
I just remember hearing it being discussed, and it was frustrating. It was also interesting to know that it's like, well, you know, in Mexico, they'd already been watching it for years.
Yes.
And for us, it was just so fresh. It was so brand new. And by the time that my son was only like first grade at the time. So, I mean, Pokemon was before Dragon Ball at that time.
But the
Yeah.
ocean, how many years did the ocean crew do it in Canada?
Ooh, I
I think
don't
it was 3.
remember. That's all.
I think it was 3 years. That's just kind of all I remember from way back when.
I think it was something like, not counting the little bit of Dragon Ball that they did. I think they did something like 50 something episodes.
They only got so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
because we started, I believe, I could be wrong. I believe we started where they kind of left off, and then we went back and did the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah.
And redid all of their work.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
'cause
you
I
went back
came
and
on
redid
with-
their work?
Do what?
So you went back and redubbed what they had already dubbed?
Not till
Yeah.
we finished
Like when we
our
went back
first
and did
season.
Dragon Ball, that had already been done. And
That's
it was
true.
kind of like a point of, hey, you're actually going to be here from the very beginning. And that'll be the one that's going to be distributed and the one that plays on Cartoon Network. So
Oh, okay. All right.
at least
Yeah, by the
that's how
time I was
remember it.
cast, I was we were in the Android saga, but then we went back into Dragon Ball. I didn't realize there were all these different.
That's
Oh.
when I found out Bulma was a
Series.
big deal. I had no idea.
I had no idea about Frieza either.
All right. Our next question comes from Jonathan. If you could hang out with your character or characters, I know some of you voice multiple, for a day, how would you pass the time?
Whoa.
That's a good question. I would just want to eat everything Chi-Chi cooks and listen to her bitch about her husband and, she's a good cook. What can I say?
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a
I
car
guess I'd
trip.
be getting some fighting lessons.
I mean, I
Ken,
would
what were you
want to go
saying?
sing karaoke with all the characters. Like, let's go to a karaoke bar
Yeah,
and just
That'd be
hammer
cool.
it out.
That would be fun.
that would.
Yeah. I'd love to hear
feel
everybody
like
sing
hanging
in
out with,
in their character voice.
Hanging out with Tian would involve a lot of meditation and trying to levitate. Probably wouldn't be very much stimulating conversation.
I don't know. That sounds really spiritual and healing and groovy. I think I might be into that.
Tien
Okay,
is
what
one of
were
my
you
daughter's
saying
favorite
before?
characters.
Oh, my other characters, my good guys, Supreme Kai, Elder Kai, where I perpetually talking to myself in the show. Just a road trip with those two. Like I could just see myself driving with them in the back seat, just going at it like kids.
All right. Let's see. Our next question was everyone got through, right? Yeah. Our next question comes from Kev. Was there any line of dialogue or scene that you just couldn't get through? Well, that's a good question.
I mean, yeah, so we would just change the line.
Oh, as long as
Or
it
if you-
matched the flap, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Or if you shredded your voice, you would have to come back and redo it.
Do it another day.
Yeah, that happened.
Do you remember any instances of any lines that you just couldn't say? Either the words were just not in the correct order, that your mouth wanted to say them
All the
or that they had
time.
to be
Like I
changed?
can't
All the time.
think of a specific. It happens still.
Well, yeah.
I didn't start getting tripped up till Yu Yu Hakusho for some reason. So maybe it was because, like in the beginning with Dragon Ball, we had all those paper scripts, and so if there was a rewrite on the fly, then there was also a reprint involved, and waiting for those papers to come in. And like
Oh,
you were
wow.
saying, John,
Stand down and
rewinding. I mean, that was before the QuickTime. Is that right, John?
Yeah, it was the video was coming in off of
So we
Some
had
sort of
the
cassette system,
luxury
yes.
of time to draw everything out. So I mean, you could smooth through some of those tricky parts
Right.
That's true.
because recording it, the time sped up.
Yeah.
Remarkably.
Linda, do you recall any times that you had issues with lines that you either had to change or you just skipped?
I don't really recall any times. I mean, it's just like if there was a word that was wrong or something, they would just change it. But I don't.
I did
no.
get. I got to the point where I could tell who wrote the script, though. I could be like, "Oh, this is one of Teague's scripts." Yep, I recognize that writing style.
John, any other memories of difficult dialogue?
I mean, I have choose any session I've ever done. You find a line or two, or I'm on take 14 or something. All right, 15th time's the charm. Let's go again.
Were you writing it also?
I was like in the early days, I was doing editorial work on the scripts, and then as time went on, I guess we started bringing in more shows, so I would do like less on individual
Live after
shows.
Dragon Ball, yeah.
Do you, John? Do you have a preference of writing, editing, engineering, voicing? Do you have a preference of any of those?
Oh well, the voicing is definitely the most fun. That's just usually an enjoyable experience. You just get to kind of yuck it up with the director and the engineer for a couple hours. The writing is where most of my career with Funimation happened. I was running the writing crew for Funimation for many years. But yes, I would much rather spend my time in a booth than behind a keyboard.
I don't blame you. All right, our next question comes from Sin. What is the dream role for each of you?
Well, mine is. I've said this before. I would love to voice Cruella de Vil.
Oh yes, girl.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I hear that.
I would.
Yeah, I hear that.
I love dogs.
Not to wear them. Tiffany, what about you?
I mean, I wanted to be on SNL, so I could play 1,000 different roles and wear makeup and costumes and be funny. So to be a cast member on SNL would be my dream role.
Wow.
That is awesome.
That is a cool one. I mean, I think it would be great to be able to originate a role and do the prelay. And there's been one I've been cast in, but it hasn't gone to production yet, where I would get to play a double agent, like a English teacher by day, secret agent by night. It's called Jet Boy. And it is being shopped to Netflix and Amazon Prime, but we haven't started recording it yet. So
sounds great.
Cynthia Cranz.
Yeah. So yeah, when that does get made and it is on Netflix or wherever, I know where I heard it first. Right.
That's
here.
right. Jet Boy.
Kent, do you have a dream role?
I feel like just the fact that I've gotten to record, that I've had the staying power here, like working with Funimation and other studios, to have made it all the way from Dragon Ball Z, but to stick around. And like, I feel like I've had a lot come my way. I have villains, I have the good guys, so I have a nice balance in my resume. I feel like it's happened for me. I always wanted to be like how I grew up seeing like the guys running kids shows and stuff like that. I wanted to be like the Captain Kangaroo, or we're here in Dallas, we had Mr. Peppermint. I know it sounds quirky, but I mean, I wanted to have like a kid show.
That's awesome. Now, John, besides 85-year-old DMV worker, what would be your dream role?
Not really sure. Matt Damon seems like he has a pretty good gig. I'll take what he's got.
I'll be Matt Damon.
Like I said, the bulk of my career with Funimation was on the script side of things, and the voice acting was something that I always did more part time. And it's still something that I do more or less part time. So anytime I have an opportunity to do it, I'm just happy to be there.
Same.
You know, I'm happy to do any role that they call me up for.
Exactly.
I feel like your earlier story, you've already fulfilled a dream role, you know, so
Yeah, like the getting to work on the redo of Yamato. Yeah, that
Yeah.
as far as like anime roles are concerned, yeah, that was a pretty cool role.
I mean, that's still that I get like goosebumps, you know, thinking about fulfilling a childhood, you know, love, that role. That's amazing.
That is very, very cool.
Our next question coming in from Roslyn. Did you always want to be an actor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Kent, you're shaking your head no. What was Kent's dream job?
Before I decided to go to school for theater, I was going to go pre-med.
Wow.
I wanted to be Dr. Kent.
Aw.
You would have the best
what type of
bedside
what type
manner
of
if you were a
specialty?
doctor. That would
Thank
be
you.
so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was
What type
that?
of
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what type of specialty were you going after?
You know, I feel like general practitioner. I like the way, you know, the doctor, I would observe the way the doctor treated, you know, different patients. And I would really, you know, took note of how I was being treated as a kid by a doctor. And I kind of wanted to do that too. Plus, I was just fascinated by, you know, human biology. I was the dinosaur nerd kid.
You'd be almost like Patch Adams.
Oh, see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except with that, maybe not the nose, but with puppets. I do.
But I think
yeah,
you also
yeah, there's
just
no-
got
there's no
compared to
puppet
Robin
doctors.
Williams, which I would say is also a treat.
I didn't hear all of that.
Can you
Patch
repeat that again,
Adams,
Tiffany?
Patch Adams. Was it
Right.
Robin Williams, Patch Adams?
Yes.
So you in kind got compared to Robin Williams as an actor, which I find to be rather flattering for you.
I'm going to start writing these things down so I can remember them later. Marvel and appreciate. Thank you for pointing that out, Tiffany.
You know.
So Tiffany, you said you always did want to be an actor.
Oh yeah, I was on stage. I was doing runway when I was 5, like in California for these big Southern bridal shows. And then I was really jealous that these girls in the 5th grade were doing a play and I didn't get invited to be in the play. And the day of the play, and they were doing Little Women, the day of the play, the girl that played the maid that had one line was sick and couldn't make it into school. And I got the role.
Yay!
I got to play the maid. And then the next year I had like the lead in the, you know, whatever 5th grade play. But that was my first role. Had to start somewhere.
I love all the origin stories of your characters. You see, breaking and entering, somebody got sick. Your origin stories are fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
It's going to be
Now
some
I'm going to ask
memoir.
you, Linda, what did John want to be when he was little?
Oh, wow. All different things. Let's see. For a while, you really liked drawing. Of course, he liked drawing all the space things. And then he wanted to be a director. He liked writing. I just found a little cartoon he wrote the other day.
Aw.
Space worm.
Space worm.
He's got all the drawings. He's got everything. Really cute. He wrote a little detective book too when he was little. Remember that one, John?
Barely.
He was
Yes.
a mouse detective. Really good. Good little story. So he was artistic also. So I'm not surprised he got into this kind of thing.
Now, John, when are we going to see Space Worm on the television screen?
I'm currently developing that for Netflix with
Yeah.
Cynthia. So we've got NDAs going on right now, so I can't tell you about it.
Say no more. Cynthia, did you want to be an actor?
I did, and it wasn't anything about voice acting or movies. I grew up being taken to just our local professional theater, and just I remember as a kid when the chorus was up singing, my hands would break out in a sweat, and we put on our own little performances for our parents, and then in 6th grade I purposely auditioned for an old lady. I don't know, I guess I always wanted to be a character actress, and I don't remember the play. I just remember I wanted that role, and I got it.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
still
That's great.
playing old ladies today. Old Lady B most recently. No, but no, I did. I didn't know I was going to pursue it professionally until I was in my college dorm doing monologues for fun, and thought, this is dumb. And so I auditioned for the theater program, and I didn't major in it, but I got the book, The Business of Acting, and just started devouring it. And I don't know, but I wasn't super ambitious. I never wanted to go to New York or LA. I was just really grateful to have it be in my neck of the woods where I could work professionally.
That was great. That was great. All right. Our next question coming up from Mark. Is it true that in certain areas of the U.S., Dragon Ball Z has higher ratings than Friends? You guys know about this?
No.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise
That's
me.
crazy to think
Wow.
about.
I mean, is that true, or are we just
Hey,
wishing, hoping? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, listen, if we say it, here's what I've learned. If we say it on the internet,
It's true.
it's true. So we can say that in certain areas of the U.S., Dragon Ball Z did have higher ratings than Friends.
Well, that would just be amazing. It's as Mitzi in Shin Chan said, it's nice to think things.
All right. Well, friends, that is going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Do you have any last things to say to our fans watching at home? We'll start with Cynthia, go around the room.
Just thanks so much for everything. If it wasn't for you guys, we would not have jobs. And I'm just amazed you guys have made my personal goal come true, which was my work mattering to people. And I couldn't think of a better fandom, and just so grateful.
That's it. Yes. Thank you for all the energy, the audience energy. That's what's so good for stage actors, to have that appreciation come to you from a broader audience. It is everything.
And I've learned so much from fans. I mean, I call them my fanimally, and
That's cute.
I'm friends with a lot of them, and I just learned so many things that they've told me that the shows actually helped them when they grew up and things like that. And it's just amazing. That's what makes you feel really, really good, and makes you feel that's why, God put you in that place to do those roles. That's how I feel. And I'm very thankful.
Absolutely.
I can't say it any better than that. I find it amazing anytime I venture out into the world to a convention or whatnot that Dragon Ball Z or like Yu Yu Hakusho or stuff that we did so many years ago. It's like still not only just remembered, but I mean it's still finding new fans like all the time. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is still finding a new audience.
Yeah.
And I find that absolutely incredible. And I, feel it was a privilege to be a part of it, and it's a privilege to be here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think some people get into acting for different reasons. Some people are like, I want to be an actor, just like they need that to feel good about themselves. Not that that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is, I think I became an actor to bring joy. Like that was my goal. I wanted to bring joy. I love comedy. I love laughter. I love, voiceover work and being this crazy character. And if I was able to bring joy to someone, that really means a lot to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it has been my absolute honor to host for you guys today on our virtual GalaxyCon stage. Thank you for joining us. And thank you guys at home or wherever you are for joining us here on GalaxyCon.com. Thank you for all your great questions. It was a pleasure being able to read them and hear our answers. So until next time, be safe, everyone. See you later, GalaxyCon.